This is Vongasphalt. You've known me as the Man in Black. Today I'm lifting the veil and introducing a little bit of light into a world of darkness. Welcome to the Lowdown, episode 8. Hey, this is Vongasphalt on the Lowdown with FXDLS Brooklyn. If you like to ride fast and far, like and subscribe. And also, we have new t-shirts available. Don't forget to get one. It adds 5 horsepower to your dyno. Right, well, I think the first thing for this bike was really, in terms of performance, was to give it a little bit more kick to be able to ride further and faster. And I think the first thing to call out is the stage 2. So it's a set of 465 cams from Fueling and a blacked out D&D exhaust with the SNS air filter, which work pretty well together, really increase the range of the gears and preserves fuel autonomy, which was a big deal for me since I do a lot of long distance riding. And then after that, the second phase was really to try to make it better in terms of handling for me and my size, my height. So I debated, FX40 fairing versus smaller footprint fairings, and I ended up quite a while ago actually with the Memphis Shades Road Warrior, which I really like, and haven't decided to change to something bigger. I think it really fits my frame. I don't think I need something much bigger than that. And then with the fairing, the T-bars and the step-up seat really gave me that position that I'm able to sustain for like these 1,000 miles days, etc. So yeah, altogether, it's pretty much like a traditional club-style Dyna build, but it really fits my riding style. And I think it's pretty much in its final form now. I don't see changing anything major on the bike, at least for the next year or so. Yeah, for the paint, so it's something that I had in mind for quite a lot of time. I think my bike was well known to be like a totally blacked out Dyna, but I always had in mind that I wanted to do something a little bit different. And I think I've always been very interested in the relationship between darkness and light, or, opposites as a whole, pain and joy, all of that stuff. And I wanted to do something a little bit along these lines that would have this kind of mystical component and also talk about the duality of these emotions. So I didn't want to do something that would be too in your face. I didn't want to have like pentagrams and crosses and stuff like that. I wanted it to be a little bit on the subtle side, and I wanted it to be very much around the black and gold scheme, which had always been something that's been on my bike for quite some time. So I hit up Ronnie at Weights and Pain, and we started chatting a little bit. I gave him a few ideas, and he came up with this, which I have to say, he knocked it out of the park. We had like a couple of framing discussions on the phone where I gave him all my influences and inspiration. And yeah, it's been a pretty seamless process actually. So shout out to him. Yeah, that's a good question. I thought a lot about, stopping the twin cam era and moving to the M8. I've actually ridden a lot of M8s and they're amazing. To me, I think it's the motor itself and it's the bike both combined. I have so much memories on it that I just couldn't see myself letting it go. So I just decided to kind of double down on it and keep the twin cam for now. I think the twin cam itself specifically has a lot of soul and a vibe that is quite different from the M8 that I've learned to love. Obviously, it vibrates a lot. It has a lot more kick to it to some extent at first. And yeah, that's really something I've grown accustomed to and couldn't see myself letting go. So for now, I'm sticking with the trim cam. It's a 110. I was gonna make it a 117. I thought about it a lot. And because I do so much long distance trips, etc., and I really want to try to also have a reliable engine that doesn't break down all the time. And because I do a lot of city riding, I also want to have an engine that doesn't overheat all the time. So for now, I kept it at 110, hoping that it's a brand new motor. It has like 10 miles, 100 miles on it now. So hoping that for the next 50,000 miles, I'm good with it. And then we'll see what happens next. But there's no question that the new Lowrider SEs are better bikes. I think I've been lucky enough to probably put about 15,000 miles on the new Lowrider SEs now, and they're better bikes. They handle better. The M8, especially when it's a stage 2, is very, very powerful. Yeah, it's overall a better bike. Suspensions are better, and I've actually gave a lot of thought about at some point like trading this in for one of the new Softails. I actually got a pretty decent quote before I did the paint job from a dealership, and I was so frustrated with the Dyna for the last year because it kept on breaking down all the time that it was definitely a consideration. And I think the only thing that made me keep it is just I've been all over the country with this bike. I've met so many people with it, and it's a very strong part of me. And I felt like I needed to give it one last shot and rebuild it the best I could, hoping that it would last for another 50,000 miles, hopefully. And then when we get there at some point, I'll probably get a new lowrider ST or something like that. Yeah, it's something I've done a lot. Long distance riding for me is it's a good way to clear my mind and challenge myself. I think I've done 12 of them now. Major shout out to Ramble at Ride 1K in a Day for giving, you know, people like me an outlet to do stuff that's rad and challenging in some ways. Maybe the ones that I've enjoyed the most were like I've done the coast to coast in 46 hours from Jacksonville to San Diego. I've done one where I did 1,700 miles in 24 hours, all of that on this Dyna, which is why I'm so attached to this bike, because there's so many crazy memories with it. And yeah, definitely keep on doing more like that. There's a lot of, so yeah, definitely plan on doing more. I actually give a big shout out to Kevin at ILM Dyna on Instagram, who I've been, you know, talking to a lot and discussing this kind of stuff together for quite a bit of time now. And yeah, I think the next step for me in terms of crazy riding will be to kind of test myself to the, I guess, the ultimate or one of the ultimate long distance challenge trip. It's called the Hukahi, and it's basically 10,000 miles with no GPS, only on back roads and no hotels in 10 to 14 days. So that sounds like fun. That also sounds like a lot of suffering. But if you don't suffer on your bike, you're not riding, right? So looking forward to that one. That would be in 2024. And obviously on the Dyna, because that's how we do it. Well, you gotta have T-bars, that's for sure. Fairing, T-bars, and step-up seat would probably be the very first accessories you're gonna want if you want to be like a credible Dyna Bro on the street. But then you can't forget stage number 2 would probably be your Lindell rotors, obviously. Your Moon's MC headlight, because, you know, you ride at night if you're a Dyna Bro, I hope. And then, yeah, I just reached a new level with the paint job, so I guess that's level 3 would be the paint job. Well, the bike, I'm really hoping that it doesn't break down for the next 50,000 miles. I have a lot of trips that I want to accomplish with it. I've ridden all across the country, and I intend on keeping on doing that. I grew exponentially frustrated with it, like I said, over the last year, because it started to really have recurring issues. But now that this is behind me, I'm looking forward to being back on the road. Most likely gonna hit up the 120th anniversary with you and a bunch of other people for the 120th anniversary of Harley Davidson in Milwaukee. And I am very much considering enlisting for the Hukahi challenge, which is in 2024. This one is definitely next level. So hopefully the Dyna gets me there, and it'll be a good time. Yeah, well, shout out to you for having me on your channel. Shout out to Ronnie at Weights and Paints for taking the bike to a whole new level. To the good folks at Memphis Shades, Lindell, etc. that have supported me over the past few months. And yeah, to all of you guys, look forward to seeing you on the road and riding fast and far together. All right, this was Vongasphalt for the Lowdown episode 8. And on these beautiful words, Vongasphalt is out.